What's up, guys? I'm SaltEMike, and this is your Star Citizen Week in Review for December 22nd, 2025. 4.5 is live, and this might be a really rough holiday break. They worked on engineering, changing it up to the last possible moment, and oh, the finale of the Pyro story is here, and it's not what I was expecting. All that and more on today's Week in Review. And as always, if this is your first week in review, this is where I take all of the official Star Citizen news each week, put it into one video, and I put some of my opinions in there as well. I also live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/SaltEMike, so stop by and say hi if you haven't yet. I always enjoy seeing you guys over there. Now, we have no sponsor this week, so I just want to take the time to say thank you for everything this year, and if you are enjoying the video, just feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and yeah, let's get into the patch notes. All right, we start out on Monday where there was nothing major. There was no major features at least added to this patch, and it was labeled Release Candidate 1. This was surprising because CIG is known to work up until the last minute, which would have been Tuesday the 23rd, depending on when you're watching this video. It might be tomorrow or whatever, but it's not looking that way this year. They seem to be pushing a little bit earlier. There were a number of bug fixes, nothing super insane worth mentioning, but a lot of small stuff that I certainly found frustrating or annoying at some point. Tuesday was Release Candidate 2, and this patch was entirely different. They basically came in and added soft death again without the ability to tell if the ship is in that state. There's a new overkill buffer is what they're calling it. We have no idea how big the buffer is, but when the ship's hull is at 0, and this says all parts of the ship are at 0, we get this new state. But again, I don't think we'll see any explosion to know when it went into power plant overload or this state, but I think they communicated that at some point in engineering they want to, and we know engineering will be an ongoing process. Next, they completely reverted their shield changes where all ship shields will be utilized to add to the health pool, which is exactly what we see in 4.4, but only the shields that are powered on will do regen. Now, my experience was that Shield Health on a Redeemer, which has 6 shields, against NPCs, it felt decent. But because of the regen, don't make the mistake that I did where I swapped to SCM mode too late and my shield health was like less than half before taking shots, and I got owned, especially these distortion arrows. They're brutal. When I took a proper fight, it was much easier. Now, keep in mind, I was a solo pilot in a Redeemer here in this fight, and it's just not supposed to be that easy. The regen was noticeably super slow, though. I also, check this out. There is a serious issue around tool and like the multi-tool repair. I don't know how the other larger repair tool is, but it is taking forever, or it felt like it was not triggering. This seemed like a bug. Then we had a refining change with ore mining. So like huge changes here in a release candidate. This is not normal. It had been cut by 40%, but they raised the prices to compensate for that. What I see is that the higher tiers of ore are definitely raised, but there's a much more noticeable raise in the lower tier, making moving large quantities somewhat viable if the game economy wasn't so broken. We'll talk more about that later. All I have to say is this is insane. Like this need to craft every experience that we have. From start to finish, I just don't think we'll end up leading to the best experience. I think they need to give us some sand, give us some tools, and let us play. But I think maybe they could do better, right? Or they think that they can do better. And in all this time, all 13, 14 years we've been looking at this game, have they truly given you the confidence that they can? They've given me confidence that they can craft amazing worlds, you know, like tactile experiences and things like that. But gameplay, I haven't seen it yet. They are clearly going to try, and we'll see how this ends up, and time will tell. But at the moment, just at the moment, I'm not confident in this at all. And we didn't get much time because this is what happened next. 4.5 live on Wednesday. 2 release candidates, barely any testing on those new things. And we got this nice little video showing all these people in a single ship working together, which is not going to happen as engineering isn't quite making the difference as you might want it to. Ships still explode. The experience on solo big ships is basically exactly the same. There's a forum post with notes and a lot more descriptive patch notes and an update on the main site as well. For me, overall performance does seem nicer, smoother, as Vulkan is now the default renderer. I don't check my frame rates, so I'm just only going based off of feel, and it just felt smoother. But my experience was probably the worst it's ever been for me personally in terms of persistence. Our org lost 80% of what we had. We were saving up for an Idris. We were almost done, and now we're down to like 1 to 2% done. We lost so many items. It was crazy. None of these things were purchased. They were all earned in the game. Next was my alt account, where I tend to just play the game and find everything in the world. All my Karenite, both pure and regular, gone. Other Hathor ores, gone. I had a full CZ set to turn in, gone. But my ship that I got in the CZ stayed, so that was cool. Ships seem to be persisting better, maybe. Let me know what your experiences are. I get the whole alpha thing, but there's bugs, right? I get that. There's a lack of features. I get that. But I do not think persisting items in the 13th year of this game's development is something that should be a problem. It is a must at this point. Like, what are we doing? Let me know what you think. But to me, that's inexcusable, because it's just foundational. We should have been building the foundations for this long, and we're not. It's weird. Okay, let's do some good. The loot refresh seems nice. Now, I didn't find any detachment yet at Hathor because all my org mates were too quick, but I did find this orange crate at the OLP that had a full Antium set in it, and I think that's a big deal. Not finding little pieces and actually finding full sets. If I was to give feedback on the loot refresh, I want to see more of that, right? Maybe I don't find a nice set all the time, but when I find an armor set, I find the full set, because there's armor lockers in this game. That's something that's coming in the future, right? That's essentially what these boxes represent. I'd like to see more of that. I think that's great. But there is other things that are also issues. Outside of bugs, ace pilots and patrol missions and more. There's so many issues here. Ace pilots, just, you can't kill them unless you do some ritual, basically, which is ridiculous. And yeah, lots of bugs around patrol missions to even get ace pilots in the first place. This will make the loss of LTP much worse, as ace pilots, again, are incredibly hard to deal with. In terms of engineering, I didn't engage with it as much as I spent most of my time in a single-seater, and since I don't have too many ships on that alt account that I like playing on, there was a huge issue with the ASOP that people were having, but I didn't experience it, where you might have seen degradation on the launcher. This was what that was about, and it should say that 100% of the time, I think, because, yeah, just to let people know what they're getting into. The year of playability this year, by the way. Then Hotfix Central on the 18th, they delivered a hotfix to deal with a hybrid crash that I never saw. So I guess I had a decent couple servers, and they attempted to resolve the issue with the ASOP terminals. So that was the patches this week. Let's move on to the roadmap update. All right, guys, this is it. That's the update. Initially, I thought this was odd, as 4.5 is ready to release, and I expected to see whatever's planned for 4.5.1 or 4.6 or whatever number the next patch is called. But obviously, this patch is going to be with us for a while, since it's holiday break. And yeah, they usually change their plans and figure out their plans in the new year, so they might, want to shuffle some things before they tell us what they're planning on doing. Then the progress tracker here is to hype you up again without actually having any concrete information for release. But crafting, inventory, and engineering are listed here. Just don't fall for their, I think, dirty tricks. Follow what's actually happening, monthly reports, and when you see what's available in PTUs or on at least the roadmap cards, right? All right, so that is that. Let's move into other updates. All right, of course, we start out with a sneak peek. This is a ship sneak peek, obviously, but I couldn't tell you which ship this is. It's clearly RSI from the angles, but I doubt this could be the Galaxy, right? Because that's probably much further away, IAE. So, yeah, feel free to leave your guesses. I'm not sure what this is. Maybe that medium salvager we've been looking for. Headhunters Reward. This one feels just so bad. We've played for months and months and months and turned in tons of things and did tons of missions, right? To come to the conclusion of killing off the terrorist gang, the Frontier Fighters. And we were told it was going to change the way Pyro looked forever on the first ISC of the year from Jared. I guess it did, because what we got was this outfit, and then apparently Amelia's body is strung up at the checkmate entrance. Big shout out to the SC Haulers channel for catching this and posting it as a reply to this post. So yeah, post is linked in the description if you want to thank him for the post or whatever. Engineering guide is next. So they posted a pretty comprehensive guide to engineering. I don't have much that I would take out of this and share with you, but it is simply to let you know that it's there and that the link along with all the other sources from today's video are in the description. Luminalia, all right, again, super not informative, and I have to record much earlier this week. I'll tell you in the outro why, than normal, because, yeah, we'll tell you in a bit. But Luminalia gifts so far this is probably the worst year for me personally. Only a couple of ship skins, none of which that I really use, and a lot of other just stuff. I love the skins because I like that white and blue paint, so hopefully there are more on the way towards the end. Dev posts are next, and the first one is addressing bad cargo ships. This is something I pointed out a few years ago in a video and numerous talks on my stream, and I think some of those feelings have made it out into the universe and brought back a positive response. Finally, a mention of making cargo ships holds making sense to actually interact with cargo where it was kind of just art in the past. I think the Zeus is one of the best examples of that, where it's a later ship designed for cargo, the Zeus CL, and it is a nightmare in comparison to what a cargo ship should like the interactions of putting cargo in and out should feel like. Yeah, the Caterpillar was mentioned, but sadly no rework for that was confirmed. Also, the Caterpillar isn't necessarily a cargo ship, just the modules are. Everything, we're going to get that modularity on that ship. I hope so one day. Economy explanation is next. Now, this was part of a much bigger post that was linked in the description, but why they decided to make changes to refining for the mining loop, and basically the goal is to allow for dynamism. But the issue here is only time will tell. We need to play, we need to see if these prices change enough in an actual meaningful way. I hope so, but I've been saying for years, again, like before, they refuse to give us the keys. They just want to be in control of everything, and I personally don't feel the impact of trade at all. Wipe. This isn't going to be impactful. The bottom of that very same post, there's a mention of a wipe, and there is one coming at some point. And why we don't have it yet is they are trying to ensure that they caught as many of the exploits as they can, which is my understanding that as of 4.5, I think those exploits are still there. I don't know for sure because I don't know how to do it. This is pure hearsay. But before wiping, they just want to make sure that they have those complete and gone. At least the most egregious ones, right? Which is why you see 100 million credits on your account for no reason. And then they also mentioned adding money sinks, or at least thinking about it towards the end of the year. That is a dire need. But the year of playability didn't exactly make the game have less bugs. So I wonder how the community will handle the actual consequences when these things happen. Then a graphics post from Ali Brown. Now, this doesn't have anything exciting to digest or anything like that, but I think it is an important resource to reference. Yeah, so just Ali Brown posted a guide of sorts to all the graphic settings in the game, and the post will be linked in the description for you to check out. And lastly, there's a survey for you to fill out. I love that CIG does these. I think the feedback is really broken through the forums and YouTube and streams, and a lot because too many people's opinions get influenced by others, their org mates or just influencers. About the ability to just kind of fill this out on your own is just a better feedback loop. The problem with this is the way they framed some of the questions made it difficult for me to answer. Like, I enjoyed some loops, but there's so many issues with those loops that need resolving. Or I can see that I could enjoy those loops, but they're broken. So I'm not sure about how the information will actually be conveyed to them and tell the story of what we experienced this year, because there was a lot of things that were fun, but there were a lot of those things that were implemented really poorly or just broken and exploitive and things like that. So, yep. But that will do it for this week in review. So I want to thank you guys for an amazing, amazing year, as this will be the last week in review for this week, because I think I told you guys last week, but just in case I didn't, my father got diagnosed with prostate cancer, just stage 2-ish is what we'll say, and he's got it removed. He's recovering, and I'm going up to New Jersey to go visit. So let's get a cumulative F cancer in the comment section. But yeah, so I just wish you guys all the best holiday. I'm going to enjoy mine with my family. And yeah, so I will catch you guys in the new year. And hopefully this engineering thing isn't going too bad, and the bugs don't keep piling up like they feel like they are. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Biggs, an amazing editor, and he's helped out so much this year, and is going to get this video done early for me because, yeah, I'm recording this Saturday morning. So as I always say, hit the like button, leave a comment down below on anything you want to comment about that I discussed or anything I may have missed, because this is Saturday morning. We still have Sunday, and there might be some dev posts or some changes or some issues that showed up, but I will not be here to share them with you. So thank you very much again. Hit subscribe if you guys enjoy Week in Review, and I will see you guys next year.